It is me, Valerie, Valeria, however you want to call me. I'm happy with literally anything. I am back. I took a week off because I was in Mexico City, and I think it'd be fun to do like a little bit of a recap. It's so interesting because I grew up going. My dad is from the city. My whole side of the whole side of, what am I saying? ESL. This always happens when I come back and my brain is like weird. It's like mush. Okay. My dad's side of the family is still out there, is what I was trying to say. My cousins, grandparents, uncles, aunts, everyone. And so we started visiting a lot more after COVID, just because my grandparents are getting older, and I just I don't know. I think it's important for like my kids to get to know my grandparents and see like where I grew up and how I grew up. And they're outside of the city. And since I've been going often, I was talking to a few girlfriends of mine, and I was like, how fun would it be if we like went together? Because there's a huge, obviously, food scene, fashion scene, architecture, the culture, everything about Mexico in general, not just the city, is just so beautiful. I've been to Guadalajara, Michoacan, obviously Tijuana, Rosarito, Valle de Guadalupe, all those places. I really liked Guadalajara, Michoacan when I went, but Mexico City is just always our go-to because that's where family is at. And so it was really special bringing a few of my close friends to Mexico City. I've done a friends trip before a few years ago. We went with a bunch of couples, and this time it was just a girls trip. So I was so excited to just be a girl in this city. And it was really fun. We walked everywhere, and that's what I love about being in a city in general, is everything is walkable. I just love to commute that way. I think it's so fun, especially after eating. You're like walking in this city with your coffee. It makes you like want to get dressed up and look cute and things like that. So it was really, really fun. We did some of the touristy things. We went to, I highly recommend if you haven't been, but the Castillo de Chapultepec, really, really beautiful. It's a historical castle that's in Mexico's version of Central Park. And it's just beautiful walking around the park, even if you don't go to the castle. But we went to just look at the architecture, look at all the history and the things. And we went to the Freedom Museum. We walked around Coyoacan. Honestly, if you guys ever want any, I'm not super type A when I travel, but I like having a list of like bigger things that I want to see or do. And then based off those things, based off like where they're at, how far they are from like where I'm staying, I'll make like a full day out of it. That way you can just like enjoy as much, but also not like overbook yourself, because I hate the feeling of like having something booked every single minute. So if you guys ever want like a more detailed, like light itinerary, let me know. I do have some spots saved under my travel highlights too. But yeah, it was fun. It was really cool getting to introduce some of my cousins to my friends. It's just like cute when like both worlds meet. I'm like, oh my gosh. A funny thing that happened was I was referred by a friend to go to this club called Patrick Miller. Well, it's not Patrick Miller, it's Patrick Miller. And they do specifically like 80s music. And so the girls and I decided to go, because who doesn't love 80s, like new wave and stuff. So we went, and we were like waiting for like the music to start. They were just playing like music in the back, but I was like, we were just like waiting, we're just checking out the vibes. And I see a girl staring at me, and then I'm staring at her back, and I'm like, she kind of looks familiar, and I can tell she's having the same thoughts, but we were like far away, and this building is like in a warehouse. It's like massive, and like zero, like no such thing as capacity or like safety hazard or anything like that. They were just cramming people in. And so we were staring at each other, and then we realized that that's my cousin, and we just like started cracking up, because she's like, she's telling me this in Spanish. She's like, I didn't even know you were out here. And I was like, yeah, girl. And so it was a cute little family moment. I was like, how funny that we're like running into each other at this random club out of all the other places, like on this random night. It was just so cute. And I got to meet her boyfriend. She got to meet my friends, and that was like really fun. So just little things like that that make such a big city feel like, I guess, not as big. But yeah, it was so fun. We went to an amazing mezcal bar. We ate such good food, and I'm so sad to be home now. But I did miss my workout grind. I missed like vegetables and salad. That's like something you don't eat out there. I was just eating chilaquiles for breakfast or for brunch, and then like conchas for lunch or a snack in between, and then just like tacos for dinner. And my gut was feeling it. I was like, get this girl a salad. I need some kale. I need a green juice or something. But yeah, everything was just great. Also, I did not know that May is the hottest month to go to Mexico City. And everywhere but the States, they don't have AC, and they're very well adjusted and acclimated to it. I am not. I'm a spoiled brat, and I live in a house that has AC, and I was just like, and it was honestly like, I kept feeling nauseous when we were eating, and I was like, I feel nauseous all the time. It's like a symptom of gastritis, so it's like not like an unfamiliar feeling for me, but I was like, why do I feel so like stuffy and nauseous and crampy? And then my friend Libby, who was with me, she's like, it's because it's hot. Like, it's just hard to eat like hot food in a hot restaurant when you're sitting in the back and there's no airflow. And I was like, oh, that totally makes sense. So our Airbnb had fans, which I'm super grateful for the fans, because I ran into a friend in Mexico City who was staying in another Airbnb who did not have fans. So that's crazy. But it was really, really hot. And I got wrecked by mosquitoes. I came back with 16 mosquito bites. 16? And I was like just telling my friends, I was like, I've never seen a bug out here in the city. Like, what the heck? And then I'm like up at night just scratching. And I'm like, stop scratching. But because I was sleeping with a fan at like highest setting, I think the fan was like, sometimes it gives you like the chills or something. Yeah. I think it was like brushing up against my butt, like the wind, and then that would trigger the itchiness of my bug bites. And I was just like up at night.
I got bug bites the other day, and it was the same thing. I would just woke up in a fever, just scratching.
Oh, it's the worst.
But it feels so good.
It feels so good.
That's like top feelings. Like top 5 feelings.
Scratching your bug bites.
A mosquito bite.
I know.
Absolutely. Did the elevation affect you at all?
Oh, yeah. And we took a red eye. So like our first day there, we got in at like 6 a.m. and we were like, we just need to rest, because like I always forget. I don't even know how high the elevation is, but I always get.
It's like 7,000. It's higher than Denver. 7,350.
Okay, so that makes sense.
More than 2,000 feet higher than Denver.
That's crazy. Yeah, I always get wrecked. Like the first 2 days, I'm always like winded. I'm like dizzy. So I was like, okay, we have to like, which is funny because the first day we ended up going to the Chapultepec Castle, and I was like, this is not keeping it low key, but whatever. It's like one of those things where it's like you can take your time, you can like walk through and sit down, and that's like what we did. So we took it really easy. So I feel like, I feel like it didn't wreck me this time as much as it normally does, just because we like paced ourselves. We had to like schedule some time to rot in our Airbnb. So we're like, okay, let's be home by like 2:00 so we can just rot for an hour or two and then go back out in the streets. So it was fun.
That's a good plan. Time to rot.
It was a good plan. You gotta make some time for rotting, I love rotting. Hot girls are rot girls. I'm gonna put that on a shirt. But yeah, it was fun. I don't know if you've seen these TikToks, AJ, but I feel like Mexico City is just kind of like controversial. Like you'll see like people like loving it and talking about it, and then you see other people that are like, you don't get to visit, like stay out. And I'm just like, there has to be some kind of balance. And that's with like traveling anywhere in general. You just have to like treat the place and the people with respect, which I'm sure they get a lot of dumb tourists. But I was talking to some of our Uber drivers, and they had very like intense thoughts about that. But then my family, they're like, we don't care. Like we love that people come and see the beauty. So
I've never really seen that, but maybe it comes from like people who work in the city and like do things that cater to tourists.
Yeah.
But when I went, I didn't experience that, or maybe I just didn't notice it.
Yeah.
And it would be more apparent to me because I'm white. So maybe I would experience that more.
Yeah.
But I didn't notice that. I know France has that reputation of like they just hate Americans.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that kind of stems from just tourism, and maybe that's happened with Mexico City now that it's becoming a more popular place to travel to.
Yeah. And there's a lot of expats. Like I know people are upset that like people are moving out there, like working and having American salaries. And that sucks.
Actually, like, I have heard about that.
Yeah.
They
and
just work remote and go
because
live
it's
in
so
Mexico
cheap.
City. Yeah, it's cheap.
Which I'm like, I don't know about that. But as far as like, so there's a difference, right, between cultural appreciation and cultural appropriation. Not that visiting a place is either.
Yeah.
Well, I guess more cultural appreciation. But like a part of me is like, I want like my white friends to like come and visit like the beauty. And like there's so much beauty outside of Mexico City too. And like it's funny because even though my family's from there, like I didn't grow up in like the neighborhoods like Juarez or Roma Norte. Like I just like grew up going to like my tio's house that's like in Texcoco. So like an hour outside the city. And it's very like pueblito, like it's like like dirt roads, and like you'll see like food vendors outside and stuff, and that's like the Mexico that I love. But it is cool to see this like younger creative like vibe to it too, which I appreciate. But yeah, it's like I don't know, I want people to like come and visit and see like the beauty that it has, but I'm also like, don't just go to the places you see on TikTok, like go and like sit with the locals. Like that's how I always travel. Like I'm like, I just want to like be with the locals and get the most authentic experience rather than like full fresa.
And
is
this is the rise of Mexico City to this, I guess, where it is now, something that's happened in more recent years, or has Mexico City always kind of been on the map as a popular travel destination? Because it could be that this is just a new phenomenon that the local people are trying to get used to.
Yeah.
And places like Paris and London, they've
always
been that way.
Yeah.
And this might just be something new that is like, hey, this is now Mexico's central travel destination for people to experience a city life in Mexico.
I definitely think it's newer for sure, because I like our first like big trip to Mexico City, like as an adult, like that was like in 2021. And so and even then I didn't see a lot of tourists, but each time I go, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of people around me speaking English. Like this is kind of crazy. And it depends like where you go and stuff, but I think it's newer, and I think things like TikTok and Instagram are like showing off like this kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but I was talking to someone recently and I was like, oh, Mexico City, and they're like, oh, so it's not just like all dirt roads. And I was like, no, that is so ignorant of you.
That's what every American thinks that has never gone or stepped foot.
Yeah.
Or even like met Mexican people.
Or no, literally.
If you live in like Nebraska and you don't experience it and you just hear us on TV, or you see the Hollywood movies where they just tint the screen yellow when they go to Mexico, like they just think it's all dirt roads.
Or like when people tell me like, I love Mexico, I went to Tijuana, which that irks me so much. But they're like, I've been to Tijuana for a missions trip. And I'm like, cool. Like, glad you did that. And like, Tijuana is like beautiful in its own way. But like, there's so, like, it doesn't always have to be this like third world country that Americans need to help. Like, go and experience it, get lost in the culture. And I don't know. I have so many thoughts on that. But yeah, TikTok is like crazy with the comments. Like, I'll see like people pissed off, and then people like, it's so beautiful, I want everyone to experience it. And I'm just like, this is what a time to be alive, you know?
I think it's a weird line to cross when, you know, there's people who want to travel, and then there's people who have a stigma against travelers because they see the bad travelers, or who are, you know, the passport bros, or the influencers who kind of like give it a bad name. But there's just so much more to travel that I don't think enough people have experienced or have gotten the opportunity to. But, you know, it just takes one trip.
For sure.
For people to change their minds.
Yeah. And like sit with the locals, chat with the locals. I did that. Well, I mean, my mom grew up in Peru. And so I went on a girls' trip to Peru in 2019. And I like made sure the girls I went with, I was like, we're sitting down with the locals. And our Airbnb host ended up like hanging out with us one night. And she like brought us chicha morada, which is like it's made out of purple corn. It's a juice. But she had made it fresh for us, and she just like sat with us in our living room. And I was like, this is like the part of traveling that I love. And like the first time we went to France, we like stayed in an Airbnb that had like the hosts living there, and they made us dinner our first night, and we just like sat with them, like held their baby, like things like that. I'm like, I love this so much. Like, I don't care to see like go to this like not that there's anything wrong with this, but like go to this cool coffee shop or this restaurant. I'm like, no, I want to like sit and hang with the people and like, you know, I think it's so important. But traveling, oh man, yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But if you guys, you need to go back to Mexico City and enjoy. Like,
I really want to.
Yeah, there's always like new things to see and discover, and it's literally the best people.
Especially now that it's like open, because when I went, it was like half COVID,
right?
So it was like still not fully open.
Yeah,
love to see it again.
Yeah, for sure. It was cool. So. That's just basically a quick recap. We saw my other cousins and my aunt for a little bit. We went to El Moro, which, fun fact, the first El Moro to open outside of Mexico is right here in Costa Mesa at Northgate. So when that El Moro opened, is it El Moro or El Morro? I forget. Is it
El Moro?
2 R's?
1 R.
1 R. Okay, El Moro. I was like, I feel like that's right. But then there's El Moro Bay, right? That's like a beach. I've sounded.
No, just Morro Bay. That's the one up north with a rock, right?
Yeah, but that's 2 R's. Right? But
that's MORROW.
O-W.
Yeah, I think there's a W in there.
Moro Bay. Okay, so El Moro. Okay, a famous place for churros.
There's no W in there, sorry.
False information. I get flagged. False information.
Demonetized for missing W.
So the first not international, but U.S. location to open for El Moro is in Costa Mesa, and it's really fun. And when we saw that it was opening inside of Northgate, I like sent a picture to my dad and my family, and they were like all freaking out. They're like, "What?" Because El Moro's like pretty big in. I don't know about Mexico as a whole, but for sure in Mexico City, there's a lot of different locations. So we had to eat at one. We ate with my family, and that was really fun. There's even one at the airport. It's so cute. But that's basically the recap. Got to see my family. Didn't get to see my grandparents because I didn't want to bring random friends to their house just because they're old and stuff. And I want to like respect their space. But I will have to go back and visit them because they're just so cute. But yeah, that's the whole recap. Bye. I'm just kidding. So for my solo episodes, I feel like it's just fun to do Ask Me Anythings. I used to do these on my stories like maybe once a month, and then I just have I'm very complicated with like answering things. Like I don't just give a yes or a no. I say yes and here's why, or no and here's why, because my biggest fear is being misunderstood. And so I feel like I just have to give a big explanation for everything. So I started shifting my Ask Me Anythings to podcast episodes because there's only so much that I could say online. And so I was like, no, give me a mic. I like to talk. Okay. So we're doing another round of Ask Me Anythings, and these are just fun because I don't know. I feel like hopefully what I say inspires or helps anyone listening, or maybe it's just fun to know these things. I don't know. It's fun. I like being interviewed, so this is like kind of fun. But let's just get right into it. So someone asked, who's your dream collab? And I was thinking about this when I read it, and I honestly don't know. I feel like with collabs, like the things that I've done so far, so like candles, vintage pants, a summer drop, like these are just like random things that I'm like, okay, I want it to fit the brand. So I kind of like go with that and put a little twist on my end. So it just depends on like, for like my dream, like what it would be. I think it'd be fun to do, oh my gosh, I have no idea. I'm like still thinking about this, and I read this last night and I'm like, I don't know. I think a brand that would be really fun would be Bagoo, actually. And I have, if anyone at Bagoo is listening, I love you guys so much. And I have worked with them before, and they're great. And they're just like so stylish, and like, I love their stuff so much. So I think they would be a dream because I haven't had a chance to do a bag yet. And I think it'd be really fun. I see AJ on Bagoo's website right now.
I like to just like look.
I think it'd be really fun to do some type of collab, whether that's like me designing the pattern or functionality of the bag. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm a bagoo hoe till I die. I just love them so much. So
yeah, I have the reusable bag. That's why I was like that.
You're like, I know
I was
that.
like, I know I have something for them.
I have like, I mean, this kind of defeats the purpose of like sustainability, but I have not so many. I have like maybe like 4 bags in different colors. And I'm just like, I feel like bags are like such an accessory along with shoes that it really changes your outfit. And lately I've been into matching. Like I've been loving like my shoes matching my bags, and it's just like kind of fun to like play with that. So anyways, I think they would be a dream brand. I'm throwing that out there. We'll see what happens. Maybe not. And if not, it's okay. I'll keep supporting because I am a loyal hoe. Favorite tacos. Okay. Does this mean type of tacos or like where to buy? Because
do both.
Okay. So I love Mexico City tacos. They're very different than tacos in California. They're bigger. It's not like carne asada. It's like carne de res. So it's different. Those are probably my favorite tacos. But to buy out here, you will find me at the taco truck, Los Jefes del Camarón, I think número 3, and they are in Costa Mesa. And I have to shout them out because the owner of the truck is just like the sweetest man. Like he loves our family so much and we love him. We are ride or dies for them. So Zach and I like to just, for a while, we were trying to figure out where the perfect taco was in Costa Mesa because at the time we were driving to Santa Ana and I was like, that's a lot of driving. Like sometimes I just wanted to be quick, and all these like trucks have just like kind of popped up around Costa Mesa like randomly. So it was fun trying to figure out like, okay, who's our favorite? And Los Jefes del Camarón are off of Harbor next to the Target in Costa, not like right next to Target in Costa Mesa, but like right there. And their salsa is good. Their meat is good. Sometimes I'm a carne asada girl, and so sometimes when I get carne asada, I feel like in some places like it's too, like they leave a lot of like the fatty parts on or just like very chewy. Sometimes it's dry, and so I'm just like super picky about that, and their quality is really good. Also, this sounds so dumb, but there's something so good about just a bean and cheese burrito. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
something
I
so
love
good.
bean and cheese burritos.
And it's funny because like that's like not Mexican, like actually Mexican at all, like authentic. But I've talked.
It's so fire though.
It hits, you know.
It's
like
so
sometimes
good.
it's just so good. So Justine and I have talked about like the perfect ratio of like a bean and cheese burrito. Okay, and some places they don't even like cook the cheese, so you like take a bite and it's just like raw cheese, and it's not fun. You gotta mix it, okay? And there is such a difference in what kind of cheese you use. You have to use the white or like Oaxacan cheese or like mozzarella if you are at the store and they don't have Oaxacan. But I don't like the places that use like yellow cheese. I'm just like, no,
it's weird.
It's weird, right? It's just
it doesn't fit.
And those burritos always feel way greasier to me than the ones with white cheese. I don't know if it's the actual cheese or just a coincidence.
Maybe those ones have more fat in them.
Maybe
than the white cheeses.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
wonder.
what's like just like rendering out.
Yeah,
like as you melt it and stuff.
Yeah. And Oaxacan cheese is like, I use that for quesadillas. Like you will not see me eating a tortilla with yellow cheese. Like there's just like no way. So they use Oaxacan cheese and they melt it, and it's just good. And the tortilla that it comes in, the flour tortilla is just bomb. Like it's just so good. And the kids honestly they love bean and cheese burritos, and they'll split that, and then we eat a lot. Then they get like a chicken taco on the side, and it's so good. So anyways, this truck saved my art show last summer when we had a food vendor who's one of my good friends, love him to death. He had to cancel on our art show 2 days before the event. He was actually one of our featured artists, and he was going to be doing food and had to cancel because he hurt his back, which was such a bummer. And since we were having like sponsored drinks and alcohol, I was like, we need to feed people. Like I feel liable if we don't have any type of food. But I was like, I also don't want to be the one buying all the food for people. So Zach, I was like freaking out, and Zach was like, why don't you just ask the taco truck to like park outside of where your art show will be? And I was like, can they do that? Like, I don't know what the city rules or the laws are. And so that night we went up to them and we're like, hey, like we had to, like Zach was like, okay, talk to him in Spanish. And I was like, okay, like describing what an art show was. And they were just staring at me like, what are you talking about? And I was like, okay, so there's like, I just called it an event. I was like, there's this event that I'm hosting. We're supposed to have food. Is it possible for you guys to just park your truck outside of like the event space? And they were like, sure. Yeah, that sounds great. And I was like, okay, sweet. Like, let's do it. And so they came through, the homies pulled up, and they're just, they saved our art show. They said that they had the busiest night in those 3 hours that they did food, like versus like anything. And I was so happy.
Wow.
It was so like, I will never get the mental picture that I had of like everyone just crowding this truck. And then like, we had a DJ who like only spins vinyl, and he was like playing a mix of like cumbia and stuff. And it was just such a beautiful picture of like, oh my gosh, this is an art show that I'm hosting with this local taco truck that I get to like help support. And they need it too. It's like, it's cool to have these like trendy, like young entrepreneurs, but I'm like, what about like the local, like Latinos who, you know, make the world go round? So that was shout out to Los Jefes. I love you guys. They might be catering my friend's wedding too.
Let's
And I'm
go.
like, yes.
I think they showed up to our apartment complex.
The blue truck with the shrimp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I remember them because I remember seeing that name.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because our last apartment would just have food trucks come in, cycle in and out. And I'm pretty sure one of them that week was Los Jefes del Camarón.
Yeah, they have a Santa Ana location. So maybe it was like their Santa Ana. Because this was at your old place?
Yeah, this was at
Santa
the old
Ana.
place.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They're homies. I love them. They're the best. I just love old Mexican men. They're the cutest. Wow, I gave a very... See, I can't fit that whole explanation
You
in
can't
like...
do that in a story.
This is why I have a podcast.
You can't
just talk.
times 2 stories anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like people would, you know, they just skip.
Exactly.
Unless it was
I'm
on
like,
TikTok, then you could times
you could
2.
just,
Then
that's the
everybody
best.
would listen.
It's like the best and worst thing because I'm like, wow, learn to wait. And I'm like, this person's talking way too slow.
Some people just be yapping. Like, get on with it.
Yeah, get to the point. Don't tell me that though about me.
Oh, no, not with you.
Sensitive.
Never times 2 to the podcast. No.
Exactly. Okay, next question. What are your go-to hair products? I feel like I don't have any. I'm having a hair crisis. So my hair's curly, naturally curly. Because I'm a gym girly, it's very hard to have it curly because I don't like to shampoo my hair or wash it every day. If anything, I'll wash it once or shampoo it once a week. And I guess I can share my products for that. I really love using I don't know if it's Nole or Noli, Nole, shampoo and conditioner bars. They're great, sustainable option. And I just love the practicality and like the easy accessibility of like just shampoo bars. My hair looks kind of frizzy right now, but we're not going to talk about that. So now that I go to the gym a lot, I'm a gym girly. It's very hard to keep my curls because I'm like putting it up, having it down, I'm sweating, and it really changes the texture and the consistency a lot. So before I got bangs, I was honestly just like slicking it back and braiding it a lot. And that actually helped my hair grow like really fast, just like braiding it, sleeping in it with braids. But now that I got bangs, it's a hard life. I actually almost had a mentee bee this morning because I had my hair natural yesterday. I wore it curly and it was so cute. It was such a vibe. I like had a headband in and it looked so cute. But because my bangs are short, they are not curling right now. I wet them and what was that?
Oh, I think it's just the street's right here. So.
Oh my gosh, I got so scared.
I know. Sometimes it
I was
sounds
like, earthquake. An earthquake on the pod?
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
That'd be crazy content. Yo, God, can we get an earthquake real quick?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, what was I blabbing about? I was talking about my bangs, how they don't curl. So I think it looks funny on me to have straight bangs and like curly natural hair. So now I have to just do my hair. And again, because I'm going to the gym, I can't really have it curly because it just does funky things unless I were to wash it every day and do it. And the routine just takes way too long. So I've just been doing it out of convenience. Like I worked out today and this is how my hair looks and it just works because if I had it curly, it would look a mess. So so I use the shampoo and conditioner bars and then I use like a Sunbum like hair oil since I am putting heat on my hair. I think I'm going to grow my bangs out and just like go back to like the long curly hair. I'm always doing something different in my hair. I'm either chopping it off or like letting it grow out something. It's fun. Hair is also an accessory. So, but those are basically the only things I use. Okay. If I'm going to slick my bangs back, the best thing to use is the Got to Be. Okay. Got and then the number 2 and then the letter B. Throwing it back. The hair gel, you use it with a coarse brush, you wet your hair. That's a Latina trick. Okay. You spray your hair, or if you're out of the shower, you just do it wet and you brush them with a coarse brush, kind of like a teasing brush, to make the pelos stay down. And I use the Got to Be hair gel with that, but that's not every day just because I get overstimmy if my hair is like crusty and like crazy. So anyways, and that's basically all that I use. I'm trying to think if there's anything. I use Aquanet for hairspray if I do use hairspray, and Aquanet is like, it's probably not good for you at all, but
is that like a shower cap or?
No, it's a brand for like hairspray.
Okay.
But it's like what they used in the 80s. It's what the Latinas use.
Oh.
So, and I can only find it. They don't sell it at Target. I think they sell it at Walmart, but I live kind of far from Walmart, so it's like kind of hard to find, but the bottles are so big and they last you forever. So, or maybe that's a Victorville thing. I don't know. I'm like, yeah, Aquanet. Everyone's like, I've never heard of that.
Everyone in the IE's like, oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, we've been using that for years.
Oh my gosh, I love the IE. Yeah, that is all that I use on my hair. I honestly hate being like having to be high maintenance with hair, which is why bangs have been so hard for me because I'm like, I actually have to style them. Ugh, I'm just a low maintenance kind of gal. Like I just don't like to do hard things. But someone asked if I'm single. No. Style tips. I don't really. Okay, I guess style is hard, like giving advice on style because everyone's style is so different. And I think it's important to just wear things that you love, wear things that make you feel good, which is maybe advice in itself. Wear things that make you feel confident because for me, that's like, honestly, this is maybe a controversial thing, especially for moms, but I actually hate wearing high-waisted pants. I feel stuck. I feel overstimulated in them. I feel tight. So I have found that mid-rise or low-rise are my best friends, but then I don't like fully showing my stomach. So then but I have a short torso. So even if I wear like a crop top, it's still kind of long on me. So wear things that make you feel comfortable. I feel like another, I guess, tip or advice I would have is like have a good recipe for how you style and wear things. So like my recipe would be like, I feel like I have a bazillion different styles, which me and Libby have talked about this in our styling episodes. But I feel like my style is like between like feminine, but also like tomboyish. So I like to mix the two together because I feel like if I was like fully in one area or the other, like that stresses me out to be identified as like one particular thing. And so this is where like the recipe like helps me. So the recipe is kind of like tight on top, tight on the bottom, loose on top. I guess not tight on the bottom. Like I don't wear tight skinny jeans, but like I would pair like a large oversized shirt with like a slim like vintage slip skirt or something. And if I'm wearing something short, I like to wear boots with it, or at least like chunky socks with like sneakers to kind of just like give it like a more balanced visual, especially because I am short. I don't know if like a lot of people know how short I am, but I'm 5 foot. So with that, I could easily look like I'm like 3 feet tall if I'm like not dressing, like if I'm not making myself look, I guess, more balanced or elongated. Is that a word? I feel like it is. So I feel like just having a recipe that works for like your body type or like that works with like your style preferences, and just have fun with it. Like something I kind of mentioned earlier this episode that I've been having fun with is just like coordinating colors between like my bag and like my shoes. Like not something like not like neutral. Like I've been doing blues, I've been doing reds, I've been doing metallics, and that's been like really fun because I just feel like little staple pieces like that aren't like super drama are like elevating like a simpler outfit. So yeah, just have fun with it, experiment, do what makes you happy. Don't leave the house in an outfit that doesn't make you feel good, because I've done that and I've been in a crabby mood because of that. So just have fun with it. Do what makes you happy. Stop or follow people who maybe have similar body types as you. I started following more petite girlies, which is hard because I feel like a lot of petite girlies that you'll see on TikTok and Instagram are like just very petite in general, where like I don't know if I would identify myself or define myself as petite. I feel like I am kind of, but I'm also not, because I've had 2 kids, so I'm not like this super like tiny person. Like I feel like I have bigger, like I don't know, my legs used to be really small until I had kids, which is totally fine. I've learned to love them, and working out helps me feel confident with those things. And I feel like it's another thing too, is like I'm working out, I'm lifting heavy, and so I'm just like more shredded than, not shredded, I wouldn't say I'm shredded, but what I'm trying to say is follow people who have similar, imagine me typing this all.
You can't.
Typing it all in a story. Like I'm just like word vomit. I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. It's just hard to, to just like to follow people who maybe don't have this similar body type as you. So that's what I would say. Dream vacation destination that you haven't been before. I was also thinking about this question and I was like, dang, that's so hard. I think I would love to go to some Asian country. Actually Japan. I would say Japan because Zach grew up there and it's like such a special place for him. And I'm like, dang, it'd be really cool to like, so many cool places in Japan to visit. And I would love to see the culture.
What part did he grow up in?
Okinawa.
Oh,
so on an island. He's an island boy. Yeah, which kind of scares me because he's like, oh, there's so many things in the ocean that could kill you. And I'm like, why are you going to take me there then? I'm scared. Like, if I'm going to be by the beach, I want to go in. I don't want to be like scared of all these things that this like rare species of like coral or something that if you touch it, like you just die in like 10 minutes. I'm like,
yeah,
cool.
That's in the Philippines too. Sea urchin.
Oh, like a specific type of sea urchin?
Yeah, it's just like really spiny. And they make you wear water shoes whenever you go snorkeling.
Yeah,
because if you step on it, it's super poisonous.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. That's so stressful to me. I'm just like,
yeah, and then you'll be swimming and you have the goggles on and you'll literally just see it below you.
Shut up.
And then like intrusive thoughts are like, I really want to step on it.
Don't tell me what to do.
I'm like, I have water shoes. It should be fine, right?
But even if you step on it with the water shoes, is that?
I think it's okay.
Okay.
But
still not recommended.
But it's still, you shouldn't do it.
And I'm sure that like damages the sea urchins too, like stepping on it.
But some otter will come and just fuck up the sea urchin. But I don't think there's any otters in Philippines.
I know. I was like, I don't know if
okay, I'm gonna look that up.
Look it up. Fact check. Yeah, they have some type of, I forget what it's called, some type of like sea urchin or something like that in Okinawa too. Tsunamis in Japan. I mean, there's tsunamis in a lot of places, but
there are Filipino otters.
What do they look like?
They're Asian small-clawed otters found in southern India, southern China, Southeast Asia, Indonesia, and the Philippines.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, but they love sea urchins.
Oh.
Yeah. They just like crack them open. I don't know if you've ever seen a video of them do it.
No.
They just like literally crack it open, split it open, and then just eat the inside. You've had uni before? At a Japanese restaurant. That's exactly what's on the inside, and they just love it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like one of their main sources of food.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna look this up when we're done. I want to see.
Yeah. We'll pull up a video.
Yeah.
I wish I had a screen.
I know. I'm like, green.
Yeah, can you pull that up for me real quick? Oh, that's a dream.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think Japan would be cool. Indonesia would also be like really, really cool. I just from what I know about Japanese culture, I love it so much. Like really beautiful, very, very like honorable, like for your like to your family and stuff. I think it's like cool. They practice really cool family values. And yeah, it's like it's funny to look at Zach's pictures from like childhood. He's just like the only white kid in there, and it's just like a bunch of like Japanese kids. I'm like, oh, what a little angel. But he got bopped a lot in school. They had corporal punishment out there, so I don't know if they still do, but at the time they did. So he got a lot of bopping from the from his teachers. But it'd be cool. I really want to go to like the mountains that like there's so much to see, and like Lost in Translation is one of my favorite movies, so I would love to go to Tokyo too and just get like lost in the city. I'm like, ugh, it'd be sick. I think too Morocco would be really fun.
That's one of my top.
Yeah,
Morocco and South Africa. I want to go there so bad.
South Africa. Ooh.
I want to go to Cape Town.
Oh, I don't know too much about South Africa except there's a lot of
I've seen, I think
beef.
I think I've seen like one video and I'm like, I want to go.
My ex-brother-in-law, my sister's ex-husband's from South Africa, but he was not a good guy. So I feel like I associate him with that. But it would be cool. We've been to Africa. I don't know. I feel like I've hit up a lot of the continents, which is so cool to say out loud. I'm like,
wait, you've been to Africa? Where?
Burkina. Here we go. Google.
Google Maps.
Yeah. It was a really cool, a very humbling experience for sure. But it's just desert. There's
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was really cool.
So this is like, oh, wrong way. Oh, so this is, what is this? West? Yeah.
Western Africa.
Western Africa.
It's above Ghana. Yeah.
What were you there for?
We did, this is such a Christian answer. We did missions stuff out there. We stayed at an orphanage for a while, and it was actually cool because we ended up doing a Tom's distribution while we were there, like the shoes. Yeah, and I like it's like I know they're not cool or relevant anymore, but they like it's a thing. Like they really do give back to a lot of the schools out there, which is really cool.
When was that? Like 2011?
This is 2015. No.
2015?
2014 maybe. And then I took some photos for like one of the school's like yearbooks, and that was really cool because a lot of them have like never gotten their photo taken. So
oh, that's sweet.
It was really cool. Like it was actually a very special experience. There's a whole story that goes with that that's like actually sad and ends in tragedy, and maybe I'll share it, but it was a really beautiful experience. So yeah, we've done Africa, Europe. The only continent I haven't hit up is Asia, so but Zach has beat me to that, so I got to get on it.
And he still has family out there?
No, he moved out there with his parents.
Oh, I see.
So, but we actually have some friends that now live in Okinawa too. Some friends we met when we lived in the Midwest, and they drove by his old house the other day and sent him a picture, and that was like really cute. I was like, oh, yeah, but we'll hopefully go. Hendrix is really obsessed with Japanese culture right now too. He like only wants me to play Japanese music for him. Like who's that guitarist? I know you've listened to his album. It's
Masayoshi Takanaka.
Yes, Hendrix is obsessed with his music.
What do you mean? How old is
He's 7.
He's 7, and he knows Masayoshi Takanaka. That is such...
Well, because I play. But...
Okay, I was like, there's no way he discovered that on his own.
He's just like on Spotify.
That is such a specific guitar player.
No, it is. But he likes his music because I'll play it in the car, and he like can tell that it's like Japanese. He loves Pokemon right now, so he like is very much into the culture. Like, what do they eat? How do they talk? Like, and I love that. I'm like, yes, like there is, please differentiate the different types of Asians, because like, I also wouldn't want to be classified as like, oh, Mexicans are like all Latinos. It's like, no, there's so much beauty from like each culture, even if it's from the same continent. But anyways, he starts recognizing the songs and the guitar riffs, which is really interesting. I'm like,
really?
Yeah. So he'll be like, can you play that? Like, he doesn't know the name, but I know what he's talking about. He's like, can you play that song? Or like, he likes the Brazilian Skies song. Like that album is so good.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, that's also really nice too, because it's like it hits kind of both cultures.
Yeah.
Brazilian and Japanese.
So beautifully done.
So
yeah.
That's a great, wow.
I know.
Cultured kid.
He's very cultured.
Wow. Impressed. Does he watch anime?
Not yet. I've never watched anime, so I don't know what would be appropriate for him to watch because I know some of them are a little
There's some that
crazy.
are like, there's some that like a lot of kids watch.
Yeah.
We can talk anime after.
Yeah, if you have any recs,
Hendrix.
let me know because I think he would love that.
Okay, yeah.
He's like
I'm sure he
deep in
knows
Pokemon,
some
though.
from school.
Yeah.
Kids talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's fun. So, okay. Does your income come from photography only or do you have other streams of income? OF. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. No, photography and content creation are my contributions to income. My husband is a teacher though, so he has a steady paycheck every month, which we're super grateful for because it is hard like being a creative and having like, you know, having to book jobs on your own. Like it's a lot of pressure and it's sometimes exhausting, especially when we're going through like a weird time in the economy. So yeah, those are the two things that I do. I do like UGC, so like, which honestly is like my kind of my favorite because I'm not obligated to post and I like having the freedom to post whatever because I think I'm funny and I post a lot of dumps with like memes and I'm like, someone please pay me to post memes. Like this is all that I want to do. So a lot of brands are into that. So UGC is just great because I just record the content, send it to the brand, and then they can run it as ads. They can do what they want with it. So I'm just simply the face of whatever it is. How old are you? I'm 31. I'm 31 and I'm old. No, it's not even old. I feel actually I have a little side note about 30s. 30s is where it's at. And that's what a lot of people are telling me right before I turned 30. And I was like, okay, we'll see. And the year leading up to 30, I was going through a lot of emo stuff, which is, I think I had this podcast when I was doing that. I was very emo. I was not okay. I was just realizing a lot of things and just like looking back at like a lot of my experiences in life, like through a different lens. And a lot of people were telling me like, when you turn 30, you just don't care. And I was like, okay, but what does that mean? Because I care so much. And honestly, I don't care. There's a lot, like, it's cool to like have, I don't know, to just like not care and let things go. It's really cool to not be like so fixated on like, at least for me, like this is my own thing that I've struggled with like my whole life, but is like people's perceptions of me. Not that it has to be a certain thing, but if like someone caught me on a bad day or like I had a weird interaction with a stranger or if even a conflict happened, that person's perception of me would literally keep me up at night, and knowing that I didn't have the control to fix that or change that was really hard. And I feel like the older I'm getting, the more I'm like getting rid of that, which is so freeing. Like I just feel free. So 30s is where it's at. Okay, last question just for time. Where are your shorts from? These shorts actually, because I think they're referring to these shorts because I posted a reel today with these shorts on. But they're from Charlie Beads. They have a few of these cute little boxer looking shorts, but they're like more femmy at the bottom. They have like this elastic down here that kind of gives it a little ruffly butt. Like I feel like a little like Donald Duck with like a cute little booty. So they have a few different styles that I love. They have like this like red plaid one that I'm wearing, and then I have just like a plain white linen one, which is great if I want to go more simple, because this one sometimes I feel like Christmas, but like also not really. And they have a few other colors. They have like a baby blue one, which I might want to get next because I've been into blues lately. But yeah, I love how their shorts fit. And that's a thing too, kind of going back to like styling tips and like dressing for your body type. I just love to be comfortable. If I'm not comfortable, I'm just in a bad mood. So I love that this boxer movement and this boxer trend are like happening right now because they're so comfy. Like I feel like I can just like let my legs breathe, but like I still look cute, you know? Like it has like elastic here. You could wear them high rise, or you could wear them low rise. It's just like, I love them. So yeah, Charlie's Beads. I love them. I feel like I've tagged them before, so go check it out. But this is not sponsored by any of the products that I have mentioned in this episode. I just love and have spent my own money on these things. I love them. But yeah, that wraps up today's round of Ask Me Anythings. Maybe I'll do this like monthly on the mic, because I think I've been doing it like every few months, but maybe it'll be like, I don't know, just like a fun way to like catch up with everyone and to talk about things that I'm into and such. But yes, well, thank you so much for listening. I hope that my paragraph answers were entertaining to listen to and not like, girl, shut up. But I do just love to talk. I love to just give a very complicated answer instead of a simple answer, because I'm just a girl. So anyways, thanks for listening. Bye, amigas.